Hello and welcome to the Natural Health Hub second podcast. We are the Natural Health Hub in Lymington, and we're a health and wellbeing centre. And I have here my team. I'm Sue Leach. I'm a homeopath and a bioresonance practitioner. And on my left is Neena, who is an energy healer. Shelley, who is our NLP practitioner and weight loss mentor, yoga teacher. Have I forgotten anything else? Woman of many talents. And Rebecca Marr, who is our crystal reiki and crystal massage. And today we're going to talk about energy. So energy is not just about running 5K, about being a super mum, or about staying up till 2 o'clock in the morning, or doing a round of in the gym first thing in the morning. It's much more subtle than that, much more fundamental. Our energy is our life force. It's what makes us tick, what is, if you're in touch with it and you're enhancing it, it's such a bigger thing than what the common usage of the word energy is. So, I think, Neena, can you explain that? Because I didn't do a terribly good job. You're the energy healer. Tell us all about energy.
Well, in some ways, you can say that the energy system is our blueprint to our physical, and on some levels, some people may sort of raise their eyebrows and go, "Hang on a minute, what's this energy thing?" But the reality is that whether you're aware of it or not, you have probably felt other people's energy and your own energy, and you've picked up on that. So, for example, you meet someone for the first time and you might instantly sort of feel a connection with that person, or feel, that you pick up on their good vibes, or conversely, you meet someone and you just know that, that will be it, and you perhaps don't want to mix with that person. And so what is that? You're picking up on their energy, it's their vibe, and it's that life force that is flowing around us. We all have this energy system that is constantly feeding our physical system. So we have an aura that's like the eggshell that surrounds us, and then we have the main energy centres, but the reality is you have hundreds of energy centres and channels that are channeling the energy and feeding your physical system, so feeding your organs, everything within you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So, at the moment, we're all really quite depleted after 2 years of the COVID mess, really, and our parasympathetic nervous systems, which is the condition of fight or flight, that in prehistoric times you did, when the lion came, you ran. You ran like shit. And the problem is now we still are made to, our bodies do that alert when we're in fear. Even somebody coming towards you with a mask on, and the kind of person who jumps into the gutter to avoid you, that it's triggering your parasympathetic nervous system. The uncertainty of the last couple of years, completely, we're on high alert, and that totally depletes your energy systems, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I just want to chip in, because I work with energy quite a lot, but I work with energy with regards to my coaching is all about people's mindset. But I also work with energy lines in the body with regards to yoga and massage. And basically what we're doing is we don't want any blocked energy. We don't want any stoppers and blockers. We want everything to flow really naturally. So I just want to bring in a bit of an analogy here. We spoke about this before, guys, but we call it the rucksack of shit. And this is, we've all got them. We've all got these bags that we carry around with us. And more often than not, we will get that rucksack of all the bad stuff, all the horrible stuff, all the niggly stuff. And at any opportunity, we'll hijack a conversation we'll get that rucksack and we'll display all of our stuff that's really down in the doldrums and really negative and horrible. But more often than not, we don't go to work on that and eradicate it and unpack it from the bag. We put it back in the rucksack of shit, swing it onto our back and wait for the next opportunity to offload it. And so I think it's really key that we need to actually look at what's in our rucksack and work on it. And that's sort of what I'm doing with my NLP coaching, helping people to think and feel differently, to change the energy and live your best life. And I think as therapists, we're all doing that in our own ways. So I just wanted to bring that in because it's a good analogy for people to grab hold of. And the other one is when we say, oh, am I a glass half full? Am I a glass half empty? We've all got that blah, blah, rainy brain. We've also got the sunny brain. But the glass is the glass, it's still the same, whether you're seeing it as half full or half empty. But sometimes we have to put that glass down. Just have to sit it down and leave it be for a bit.
Yeah.
And just sort of on that rucksack of shit, you basically think of that as all that stuff, that shit is sitting in your energy system. So you imagine that aura that, on a good day is going to be bright and sparkly and beautiful, but actually that rucksack of shit is adding little bits of grey and red and stuff that is going to deplete you physically, or perhaps it's going to give you a backache, it's going to end up with stiff shoulders. You might get an illness from it, and you might not know why. So with things like what Shelley does, what Rebecca does, what I do, what we all do is we take these different approaches to clean the energy system so that it is all flowing and you're removing all that rubbish from the energy system so that you feel better physically, emotionally and mentally.
Yeah, and I think from what Neena was saying about, she's describing it as our vibe, and it's our vibration, which is what's going out into the world. And it's our responsibility, our own responsibility to raise that vibration and to take advantage of different therapies that can help that. If we don't know where to start ourselves, then that's perhaps the way to go first of all, and then it'll open up the world into other ways that we can sort of help ourselves and therefore help everybody else around us. But it is a responsibility and but an absolute joy, because you end up leaving that rucksack and you don't need it anymore because none of that stuff matters. Because you're lifting yourself up and out of it.
It's life-changing, isn't it? It's life-changing when you can put that down.
Exactly.
And you'll feel totally different.
Yeah, 100%.
So I'm very conscious of words. I used to be a journalist, and at the moment particularly, the negative words that are just bandied around, everything's a crisis and we're teetering on the brink and overloaded and disease. Now split that word, ease. Think ease, ease,
Or at ease.
At ease. And if you start using all the words that are in the media, that is affecting your energy. That is depleting you. That is contributing to the rucksack. And after a while, everybody's talking those words. Why? So switch them. Don't say a word like that. Use illness. Don't say it's a crisis. It's a challenge or it's a tricky time. And I know that sounds trite, but if you do that day in, day out, you are raising, as you said, raising your vibration, raising your energy.
Absolutely. And you need to think about how you come across with your language. That's so important. I spend a lot of my time saying to people, just stop a minute and listen to what you just said to me. I'm struggling. I find this difficult. Let's rephrase that. Yes, it's a difficult time at the moment, but what can you do in order to better that? What's the smallest thing you can do to bring yourself out of that? You can change your words in your head, because how you think will depict how you feel, and how you feel depicts how you behave, and then in turn the results you get. So if I've woken up this morning going, we're going to a podcast, oh no, it's just going to be a nightmare, the traffic, look at what I'm doing, look at my mannerisms, look at how I am, I can't cope with this. I'm already setting up a feeling that says, you're going to fail, this is just going to be awful, and my energy is down. But I woke up going, this is brilliant, love that gang, can't wait, Andy's going to be a great guy, off we go to do this podcast, really looking forward to it. So my energy is lifted, I'm in that space already. But a lot of people, it's very easy to slope off down the hill. It's, you know, you need to get yourself back up again.
And again, it's a lot of people look for outside things to lift them, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
Because then you just become so dependent on other things. Whereas what you're saying, you're taking, again, it's that taking responsibility for yourself. And you're saying, right, today's going to be a really good day. And you've done that yourself. It's not been anybody else that's
Taking
affected
ownership.
that.
Yeah. And I think with those words, it goes beyond what we're just thinking about, for example, for the day, but when you actually think about how you want your life to be, and you're setting goals, and they might be health goals or business goals, or relationship goals, it's really important, isn't it, the words and the thoughts and the feelings that you put into those in order to manifest what it is you want in life.
I was going to say, the other thing you need to do sometimes, and it sounds so easy to say it, but we can all do it, is get out of your own way. We get in our own way too many times. You know, I see it in my coaching practice a lot, and then people now say to me, I know what I did, I got in my own way, and I need that, because
Put up obstacles
and we all do it.
Yeah, one of the biggest things you can say to yourself with regards to lifting your energy is, you know, am I being the radiator or am I being the drain? Or am I around people that are zapping my energy and taking it all from me? Or are they emanating warmth and love, and actually I want to be around them? Because, you know, confident, comfortable, at ease people with good energy levels make you feel the same. It comes back to what you're saying about that whole vibration that's out there. So it's big. And I mean, breathing has the biggest impact on your physiology. And I go, I bang on about this all the time.
We all do, don't we?
Because you don't even have to take to a yoga mat to do it. You know, and people have this thing about, I've got to be super bendy and I've got to have a really strong breath and a big lung capacity. No, simple breathing techniques. And I mean, I do want to share one today, but it has the biggest impact on your physiology, because it's all about managing your mental, your physical and your emotional state. And that's powerful. We can do lots of things to help ourselves and to feel comfortable and relaxed. And there's so many things we'd like to do to make that happen. You know, glass of wine, eat the chocolate, bubble bath, go for a run, whatever it might be, do your yoga, have your massage. But if you just sit comfortably on your own with your breath, it's powerful.
Definitely.
Yeah, and it's cleansing your energy system.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
it's helping to actually remove some of that shit from the aura, which we talked about, and it strengthens the aura, which means less stuff will get in. So as you say, it's making you more resilient, isn't it?
Because
So,
we're vagal toning,
Yeah.
our vagus nerve, largest cranial nerve, reaching into all parts of us. And if we've got a strong vagal tone, then our resilience is strong. We are able to bounce back from situations that are difficult a little bit easier. You know, we can't do the rose-tinted glasses. We need to do positivity thinking with reality thinking. You know, this is a difficult time I'm dealing with. Can't just gloss it over. You know, we have to say that to ourselves sometimes. But exactly that, we become really resilient. And with the weak vagus nerve, we have less resilience. And that's scientific. So,
But I think it's all very well for us to talk like this. You know, we've been in this business for a long time. It's often been a journey that we've come to be healers, practitioners. For many people, it's harder. You know, for many people, what can we give to people to suggest to convert the good words to the positive word, you know, the bad words to the positive words? Because there is, if you're not careful, that kind of negativity actually then becomes pathology. So, you know, let's think about things we can suggest to help people.
Yeah, I mean, for me, my mindset started to become a lot more positive naturally when I started to become aware of my energy, and I started up practices such as meditation and breathing, and it was the continuity of those practices was quite important for me. But over time, I noticed the change of my mindset internally, and how I wouldn't be knocked off course quite so easily. So I think leaning into your energy, building your awareness is the number one place to start, is becoming aware, and breathing techniques like Shelley's talking about is important.
Because it's personal awareness is where it starts. You can't change that. Nobody can change that within you. They can give you guidance and help you, but you've got to own it. You've got to take ownership in order to go, I want to make this change. Because there are some people that are quite happy to be a bit low energy, a bit grumpy. Let me just sit with that for a bit. But I always talk to people about, if you want to live your best life, you can't build a nest there. That's not conducive to moving forward and living your best life that we've all got one shot at.
But you are allowed those low days.
Of course you are.
And you are allowed those low times in the day. We have circadian rhythms, that there are times in the day when it's right that we're resting.
Yeah.
There's times of day, go for it. And it's different. Different people have that different kind of energy at different times of day. So be aware of when you're at your best, when you need to just be a little bit curled up in a ball and put your phone away and don't answer it.
Yes.
And Rebecca, you're particularly into the moon phases, aren't you?
So talking about the day, but talking about the monthly cycle as well. And, you know, that's one thing I think when everything happened last year and we were all at home, I think it gave people, you know, a bit more time to not think about all the everyday stuff, and instead perhaps, you know, if they were able to go for walks, they connected a bit more with nature. And I think if you can do that on a daily basis somehow, it doesn't mean you have to go for a walk in nature every day, but if you connect to something like the moon phases, it's quite a good way of relating to your energy levels. So, for instance, when there's a new moon, and obviously it's very dark, it's a time to slow down. It's sort of telling you that that's a time when your body naturally will probably want to slow down. So you stay in more, you probably see less of people. And then as the moon starts waning and making its way, as it is at the moment, to a full moon, which we'll have next week, your energy levels will more than likely start to raise again. You know, you're almost sort of building up to this release of energy. And so it's keeping track. And if you can get your own rhythm in sync with nature, it's so grounding. It's a really lovely practice. And anything, I mean, I deal with crystals. I've got some here, but I deal with crystals all the time. And again, when you're connecting to something that's an energy that's so pure, because it's nature, like at the end of the day, and you can make use of those beautiful energies, it's raising your vibration again. So it's the whole connection to nature, which we should make the most of.
And I just want to come back to Sue's point, because you're absolutely right when you're saying, we are allowed those moments, we're allowed those days. I call them the duvet days. It's like, it's okay. Today is a day where, do you know what? I'm not firing on all four cylinders. Yesterday I took on the world. Today I can't. So that is okay. But what you have to do is ask yourself, if it's over a long period of time and it's not conducive to you living your life, how hindering is it? And that's what's got to be changed. Because sometimes it is helpful to go, do you know what? I'm shutting everything off, digital detox. I don't want to work today. I'm not doing anything because I need to just be very insular and I just need to pull back and recoil. And that's, retreat. That's absolutely fine. But what I'm specifically talking about is when somebody is telling themselves, the upsetting, the dark, the hindering thoughts, and not taking ownership and not changing it, that's when that becomes how you live your life.
Yeah.
And then, I see a lot of people that say to me, gosh, I wish I knew this and I wish I'd had those exercises, 20 years ago. It's okay. It's now and you know it now. So it's right to change it now. You can't go back and wish, you had it 20 years ago because you didn't know about it.
But you can always change it as well.
But now you can.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Always.
And I also do a lot of stuff where I'm changing people's thoughts and feelings from 20 years ago. So it doesn't matter that you didn't come 20 years ago, you're changing it now. So the energy is changing now.
But it does still all come back to awareness, doesn't it? To just recognise what state you're in and why, if you can.
Yeah.
And like you say, if it's going on a long time and it's not conducive to you living your best life, then having that awareness, okay, I need to get some help now.
Yeah.
Or you know,
There's lots of
something's off
ways.
balance
Yeah.
here.
And it's changing, it's getting your daily habits and routines. That's so powerful. If you're doing something repetitively day after day and you're feeling not very good, then it's about changing that to things that make you feel really good and doing it. And they don't have to take very long at all. But if you're doing it day after day after day, then that's what sinks in, and that's what makes those changes as well.
Yeah.
And that is what will change your mindset without you having to change your mind first, if that makes sense. Because sometimes that can be a challenge. It can be a challenge to suddenly go, well, how do I suddenly feel great?
Yeah.
So what I'm talking about is doing something that changes your emotions in an indirect way, and then it filters up
Could
and
even
out.
be putting a good piece of music on.
Exactly.
Couldn't it?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you could have a
Yeah.
little list
Dance
of your
like
favourite
nobody's
tracks.
looking.
And exactly. But
Yeah.
but I think that word feeling is so important, isn't it? To be recognising how we feel. How does a certain person make you feel? How does a piece of
Yeah.
music make you feel?
Yeah.
How does your work make you feel? Because without recognising them, then it's so hard to make
Like
those changes.
What lights you up?
Yeah.
What lights you up? What dims you
Yeah.
like? What zaps your energy? What gives you energy?
I
Yeah.
think it's really significant that the three of you have chosen to wear shades of red. And red is about energy and vitality. It can also mean like being over loud and stimulated. But I'm blue and green, which is
Calming, exactly.
Yeah. But I think it's really interesting, isn't it? And you can affect your own self by wearing clothes, by
the colours that we wear.
It's what you're emanating, and then what you're giving off.
Yeah.
Other people will feed
And this
back.
all comes back to everything is energy. And
Everything.
Albert Einstein said so. Everything is energy, and that's all there is to
But
it.
with the red, see, that's the root chakra, so that's very grounding.
Yeah.
Very grounding.
Yeah.
base,
So although it
yeah,
might be
earthing.
something that's very energetic, it's very grounding. And
Yeah.
Sue, you're the throat, you're the blue
Yeah.
blue
Yeah.
chakra. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to explain chakras a bit. Yeah.
Our energy centre.
our energy centres, yeah. Well, we have quite a few in our body, but the main ones, we have main 7 chakras. We have the root chakra, which is down near the sort of coccyx area, and the colour for that is red, which is what we're wearing today, and that's all about security and feeling grounded and safe. And then we move further up to the sacral area, which is orange. And that's very much about creativity and expression. And then we move just below the navel, which is our solar plexus, and that's bright, beautiful yellow. And that's all about personal power, self-esteem. And then we move further up to the heart, which is green, sometimes pink. You could relate pink to that area as well. So we all know what the heart is about: love, self-love, compassion, all those feelings. Then we move up to the throat, which is blue. And that's about communication and, again, expression, being able to voice what we want to be able to say. Then we come up to the third eye here, which is purple, and that's all to do with intuition and the mind. And then we move up to the crown, which is white, and that's sort of opening us up to the sort of higher realms. But they're also very interlinked. If you've got, for instance, the third eye, that goes in sync with your solar plexus. So what you think is what you feel. A lot of people who have tummy problems, it's because they're overthinking in their mind. So that's very, very connected. Throat and sacral, so blue and orange. Again, it's all about expression and being able to be open with expression and not feel like they can't be themselves. And then you have the root and you have the heart, and they go hand in hand as well. So it's a huge discussion. You could talk for hours on the chakras, but that's hopefully
And so often,
basis.
as a homeopath, I will be I'll be giving them a remedy that's actually to do with that interconnection.
Yeah.
So I might be giving something for the gut that actually is to do with something higher up in the body, so in the chakras.
Yeah.
And it is fascinating. It works amazingly, really, really
Love it.
well.
But if anything's out of balance, that's again when we can have all these problems with it, with different emotions and moods. And so if you sort of become more aware of these energy systems, and you can sort of work out where you might be imbalanced, then that's a really useful tool to learn how to get them back in sync.
100%.
Yeah, so go on.
No, I was just going to say that the easiest way to explain it is that they're vortices, they're wheels and they're spinning, and we need them to spin freely. And if they're stuck and a bit rigid, that's where we get the imbalance. And so it's about just being aware of that. And somebody listening to this might think, what's that even about? But just think about how you sit with yourself, your energy, what you bring to the table, how it is for you. And just know that that's all being controlled through your chakra system. And beyond those main 7 of Sushumna, your major energy line. And just think about, am I, like you were saying, am I having a really bad day with some poorly stomach stuff? What's happening there? How is that manifesting? And it could be that that's an imbalance. So it could be simply that you just ate something that wasn't right for you. It's still connecting you. You had too many mince pies to your energy system.
And bearing in mind also the energy system, the chakras, that the whole system hold everything from our past,
I was going to say,
present,
from birth.
and future.
Yeah.
So I like to think of it as well, because a lot of people come to the hub when they have health conditions that they just have not been able to resolve elsewhere. And often people that come to see me are at their last tether, and they'll go, yeah, I'm at the point, I'll try anything now. And, I don't take offence to that. But I see it that the energy system holds the key, and it is in there. The key to the problem is within the energy system. So if you have a problem that you have not been able to resolve and you just don't know where it's coming from, explore the energy system and get somebody to help you, because it will be in there and it can be taken out.
Unlocked
and healed. And
And
again,
healed,
these are things that are imbalances. They can either be too stuck and slow, or they could be overstimulated as well. And so it's getting that balance. But our chakras are affected from birth. The first one is the root chakra, which is all about safety and security. And if that's not happened first thing in life, then that's going to massively affect that person at a very deep level. And there's all sorts of things that there might be people who really struggle to voice their opinion because of something or the way that someone's made them feel in their past, and so it's stuck here and they don't know why.
Or they may have had the cord around the neck at birth. I
Or
have that
even
quite a lot.
in a physical sense, like that as well. But it's often people don't quite understand what's going on. But when you look at the chakra system, there's so much psychology behind it that when you get to grips with which chakra means what and what can be out of balance, it's almost like a light bulb can switch on, and you're just like, oh my gosh, that's exactly why. That's related to this, and that's why I'm feeling like that. And then when you know that, there are ways that you can heal that and get it back into balance.
And also when we talk about, this is such good points, when we talk about the main chakras and then going beyond that, we've got 72,000, they're known as nadis, so they're conduits, they're rivers connecting everything. 72,000 of those. It's immense, absolutely immense.
But all of our organs have a resonance as well.
right,
And in the work that I do with the bioresonance machine, it's measuring your energies, and it scans your body. And sometimes something like the spleen will come up and people say, well, spleen's fine. But it's about the negative energy to do with that spleen. And that's about holding on to negative thoughts and not being able to express them.
Well, so I always sort of make sure I clean people's spleens
Yeah.
energetically, and there's a chakra on the spleen. And often people suffering with ME, for example, it will often be a highly congested spleen. And the spleen is like the powerhouse for the rest of the energetic body. So if that is congested and not functioning, then the energy that is needed for the rest of your system just isn't getting there.
Well, I'm finding people with long COVID, it's
Or
often
ME and long
depletion
COVID
of spleen energy. It's fascinating.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
So we've talked about the theory. What do you do if you've got a toxic person in your family? How do you protect yourself from them?
Okay, so I'm just going to relate this to, I'm not going to say toxic, I'm just going to say difficult person.
I say toxic.
Toxic, yeah. who
Same thing.
who can be quite draining at times. And I think what you have to do is you have to limit your time with said person, because that is very draining on you, but you also have to build your resilience. So I'm going to give you an example. I've got somebody that will always default, it's bad, it's this, it's that, It's quite a long distant friend, let's just put it that way. And I will often just sit that person down and say, tell me something good that's happened in the last week, because I know there's good stuff. But the default is to go tell you everything that's like really dramatised, really catastrophic, and it's just been so bad, it's all imploding, And I'll go, okay, granted, there's some stuff happening in your life right now, and this person has a huge history, and I'm very sympathetic to that. But then I'll stop and I'll say, okay, so we need to now look at some of the positives, what has been good. Let's get you out of that and lift you into this. And also, you have to protect yourself. But sometimes there are people in your life, and I'm going to be as bold as to say it, that you really don't need to have there. And that's difficult when that's immediate family, but you have to negate your drains because they are not helpful. And there are people that you know you've met where you'll go, I've met you once and don't ever really mind if I don't ever meet you again. I'm going to be honest, yeah?
Absolutely.
And then there are people where you just think, I've got to gravitate to this person. They make me feel so good and I want to be around them. And you will do more of that.
Yeah.
So with the people who I have to, and I feel I need some to protect myself, one thing I do, I prepare myself, and one technique is visualize like a duvet or a blanket going around you, enveloping you, and you zip that up and totally enclose yourself with that and push out their negativity. That sounds trite, and when the person first told me how to do that, I thought, but I do it regularly.
But what you're doing is managing your state.
Yeah,
managing your
exactly.
state.
You are, and actually, energetically, that what you're doing is extremely powerful. And I do something similar with an invisibility cloak, a bit Harry Potter. But imagine like a big blue cloak kind of going on you, and you can just imagine a fence coming up between you and a certain person.
I do, so I have to do it quickly.
And I think it's all about deflecting. And in fact, I didn't bring that particular crystal. There's a hematite, which is a silver crystal, and actually people use it if they're around technology and things like that to deflect the energy. And it's the same with people. It's like it's returning to sender the energy that you don't want. So hematite's a really good crystal to keep on you if you're around anybody that zaps your energy.
Throw your rucksack at them.
Throw your rucksack full of hematite, but full of crystals. But the thing is, if you are keeping your own vibrations high, and you have good energy within yourself, even if you are up against people and close family that are not quite at the same place, you might have to come across someone who throws a lot at you. But like I say, if your energy's high, you should
change it.
It won't affect you
exactly.
as much.
Again, it's that deflecting.
Yeah,
it's that you walk away and you remain in your state.
Yeah, because with a
You
strong
just don't let it-
aura,
exactly.
it's going to
Yeah.
bounce off, isn't
Exactly.
it?
I use an analogy with, you just made me think of this with people. So think about being your own mental interior decorator. So if I came into your home and I put some really nasty graffiti all over your walls, really dark, horrible wording, would you leave it there? You wouldn't. Well, you'd have me redecorate for one because I put it there. But you wouldn't leave it there. So it's about how you feel about people. You wouldn't leave that in your mind. You need to do some changes around that. So you need to redecorate, change it. But, you know, sometimes you just have to ask yourself that question, you know, I need to have, what conversation do I need to have with this person? How can I move this forward? And sometimes you have to have those constructive, maybe quite difficult conversations with toxic, Sue's word, people in your life, because sometimes it's not in people's arena and they may not know, because it's in what we call their blind spot, how they are affecting you. And when you bring it to the table and make it really obvious, sometimes that can be the change that somebody needs, where they just go, I'm sorry, I know that that's going to have an impact on you, and I need to refrain from doing that. It's not always that easy.
Or they don't. And then there comes that point where you know you kind of have to go your separate ways.
Yeah.
Because they could get very offended by it, and they'll be like, what do you mean? There's nothing wrong with me. And they don't want to see what's wrong, and they don't want to make those changes. But the thing is, you can't, you know, we can't really change anybody other than ourselves.
All
So-
it does come back to
Exactly.
Personal
So we can't
awareness.
think, right, we're going to change who they are. We're going to say, da, da, da. As long as we are happy with who we are in ourselves, again, that's what will, that's the only thing we can
And the
be.
vibe you give off. So, you know,
Yeah.
like I was saying with my friends, you know, it's like you change the vibe. And we get and have a lovely conversation from that. So it's all good. You know, we've changed the vibe.
Turned it around,
Turning
yeah.
it around, yeah.
So Rebecca, come on, we need to know about these crystals.
Yeah. What have you got in your back pocket?
Well, I've only brought a few in today. These are just crystals that I would recommend for lifting your energy, to bring some positivity into your life. You know, they're just really simple tools, really, to have around. So we have pyrite, which is a lovely golden fool's gold crystal. So that one's really good for, we do usually use that for abundance and manifesting money and things like that, but it's still related to the solar. So we're talking about the solar plexus now, because that's where we want to really ramp up the energy and the vibration, that really lovely sunny yellow vibration. So pyrite's great. Honey calcite is another one, really good for cleansing energy, and again good for self-confidence, self-worth. Sunstone, I mean, they're all similar. You know, sunstone coming from the sun, so it's that powerful, bright energy, and that's obviously quite an orangey one. That's a very warming energy. And then citrine, and again, it's got that golden glow in it. So, you know, having these sort of energies around, you can have them dotted around your home. You can carry them in a little pouch with you. If you're going out for the day and you're thinking, I really need to keep myself lifted today because it's going to be quite a difficult one, then, you know, just put them in a pouch, carry them around with you. But make use of these lovely natural energies that you can get from them.
Under your pillow.
So, under your pillow, you can sleep with
In
them.
your bra.
Although you might not sleep too well with these because they are quite energising. So, but yeah, just to have on you in a pouch, or like I say, placed around the home, where, you know, every time you look at it, it's a reminder. It's that intention that you're getting from the energy.
So I think we need to draw to a close now, but as you'll see, there's so much we want to tell everybody about energy, and it's, you know, it's the life force. Everything in life is energy, and it's the life force of the Natural Health Hub, and we can help retune you, raise your vibration, enable you through coaching or through the bioresonance, clearing the rubbish and raising you so you are more vital. And I think we need to end on a breathing technique. Over to you, Shelley.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I was, we've done so much in this podcast, which is brilliant. And, I wanted to talk about obviously yoga as well, because yoga is massively going to change your energy, because you work with your breath, you work with your whole system. It's just beautiful. And I'm doing very top line there. But one of the breathing techniques that I'd like to bring in is called Kapalbhati. Okay, Kapalbhati. Kapal means light, and Bhati means cranium. And what we're doing is cleansing and clearing. So if we've ever got sort of that heavy mind stuff and we just need a bit of time out from it, when you practice this regularly, you will have periods of stillness. And that stillness is known as kumbhaka, where you are so full of energy, but you've cleared your space. It's a beautiful void. I call it a void because it's the best way to explain it. You just sat in a space of nothing really matters right now. It's all good, yeah? So I'm going to explain this. We're going to give it a go, okay? Because it is also said, and I will add this in, that if you own your own breath, no one, nothing, not a situation in the world can steal your peace. And I just think that's really beautiful. I learnt that with my teacher on retreats. So beautiful. So Kapalbhati, we're going to start with a nice R breath. We're going to take an inhale through the nose. Sit yourself up nice and comfortably. Lift your chest. Inhale through the nose. And an R breath through the mouth, nice and gently. Like you're misting up a mirror. Close your eyes. I want you to put your hand onto your belly, so whether you're left or right-handed. It's your belly now that's going to do the movement. Now it's all in the nostrils. We're going to inhale and push the belly forward through the nostrils, but we're going to forcefully exhale. And we're going to imagine we're snuffing out a candle with our nose so that we can pull that belly back, okay? Now, I'm going to just put a caveat in. It's a bit like pat head, rub tummy. Oh, what's going on when you first do this? Stick with me, okay? So, forceful exhale through the nostrils. Belly comes back in towards your spine. Naturally, you will inhale, your belly comes back out into a passive blow. We're going to get into a pattern. Brilliant. Okay, keep it going, keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Take 3 more. Let it go. Now take a deep inhale. Breathe. Close your eyes. Come into stillness. Relax your hand. This is energy. So welcome it. Maybe bring your attention to your third eye, so between the eyebrows, like you're internally looking up. Just notice that peaceful space. Okay, so with regular practice, this is how we get more stillness. You've just done probably about 15 of those. If you start to pick it up, you get more comfortable, take it to around a 50, take it up to the hundreds, move it from there.
Lovely.
Yeah, I mean, it's remarkable just that those few seconds, I went from feeling, really quite hyped from the excitement of this, and we've had a really good discussion, to, and breathe. So that's it for today from us, from the Natural Health Hub. Do follow us on your favourite platform. Go to our website, sign up to our newsletter, follow us on Instagram or Facebook, and hopefully you'll join us for our next podcast, where we're going to be talking about the menopause. I think that's going to be a good meaty topic for us all as well. Thanks.